Alright, cats. So, I'm studying my workshop today. My workshop's stroke gym, stroke somewhere to hide my bike, motorcycle that is. So I'm just doing a bit of thinking. And I'm thinking about the state of the ethics of the politicians that we have to put up with. Now, we all know, well, any of us that have got any memory, how great the Conservatives performed for 14 years with that spinning door that they had on the front of number 10, and basically they all took it in turns of leading the country and made a complete cat's arse of it. And just lied and schemed, and the icing on the cake was the COVID set to, wasn't it? And in with the floppy hair Boris and his parties and all the rest of it. And you have to think to yourself, where's the ethics of these people? Where's the morality? Where's the ethics? Where's the morality? The double standards is so off the scale that it makes you think. Because I mean, let's be honest, these people that run the country, you know, on the whole, besides, I mean, Angela Rayner, there's one or two others that have come from, I won't say nothing, but let's say come from the blue collar workers of the UK. Oh, and associated countries. But a lot of them are like the Rishi Sunaks, who are basically married into billionaire families and all the rest of it. And it just seems like the morals, their understanding, their moral compass, let's say, their understanding of the proletariat, us people down the ladder, us 70 million, it's non-existent. There's no morals. There's no understanding. There's no nothing. It's just wrong. There needs to be a movement. You know, one of those, this is going to sound so bloody corny now, but you know, a by the people, for the people movement. And I'm not talking about communist ideologies or fascist ideologies or anything like that. I'm talking about reasonable, democratic beginnings. You can see why in 76 was it or something, that a load of people pile onto that first ship that sailed across the Atlantic to the New World. Basically, they were all British. It was Scotsmen, Welshmen, Englishmen, Irishmen. They all got on that boat and they sailed across there because you know what they thought? They thought, bollocks to the UK, I've had enough of this. We're going somewhere to a new land where we can start a new world. And it's what they did. And guess what? They called it the New World. And obviously there was some Dutch people involved because initially New York was New Amsterdam, wasn't it? I think I'm right there. But if you have a look at a lot of those cities in the US, I mean, there are a lot of those cities that are named after British places. You know, their counterparts are here. There's a Liverpool there, believe it or not. Washington. New York. Why is New York called New York? Because it was New York. There's a London there. There's all sorts of stuff there that's repeated again. There's a certain amount of our history went there, but it went there for a good reason, because they'd had enough of the way the twats over here ran the place. And you know what? If there was a new world, seriously, I would be on the boat and I would be going. Because we're at the point now where I really can't see how this moral compass that is so twisted with all these people gets straightened out. I just don't understand it. It really does seem like as long as I can fill my pockets with as much money as I can, as long as I can keep my face in the limelight, then I'm happy. So I will have Daddy pay for my university education, and I will have Daddy pay for me to go to Eton. And then I will use Daddy's contacts in order to become a journalist or something like. Not all journalists now. I will then use my contacts to slide into being a member of Parliament, or at least getting amongst those greasy wheels in Parliament. And then I will write my book. And then I will be appointed to the Lords. And then I shall die very, very, very rich, having fucked over the entire population of the UK. And that seems to be really their moral compass. Please run to correct me if I am wrong. Am I talking about every single one of them? No, because life doesn't work like that. There's never an every single one of them, is there? Lemmings will run off a fucking cliff, but not every single one of them. Some of them see the fucking light of day, or rather see the fucking distance down the fucking cliffside and think, fuck that, and just stop at the end. Otherwise, guess what? There wouldn't be any fucking lemmings, would there? No. So some of them see the light of day, but a lot of them don't. And it's very sad. It's very demoralising. But you know what? We can't be demoralised. We can't be. We have to take a long view, and we have to think, you know what? Although my granddad and my dad and my mum and my grandma and my great-great-grandma and every fucking body back 100 years voted Labour, they're shit. So I'm not going to. I'm going to vote for someone else. That's what we have to think. Now me, I've never had a problem with that. I voted Labour for 30 years. Yes, I know. And I've paid for it fucking dearly. But the alternative for me was Margaret fucking Thatcher. And I'm afraid when I was a teenager, no way was that happening, because I couldn't see anything she was doing for me, because I couldn't even get a fucking job and keep hold of it, because the companies I worked for kept going bang. So, yes, I was somewhat put off that lot. So I did Labour for 30 years, 25. And then Labour lied to me. I don't like being lied to. I live in a democracy. So Labour lied to me. And when we had our vote in 2016, I thought, you're not going to do what I want you to do. And Boris put his hand up and said, we've had the vote. The people have spoken. We will carry out what the people want, which is all I wanted to happen. And to be quite honest with you, I really, really do appreciate and understand that pendulums swing left and right. So if that situation had not been carried out, even though I might have said, great, we didn't leave the EU, great, I would have been really fucking pissed off ultimately, because you can't have a vote in a democracy and then have some twat at the top decide they're not going to carry it out, because it will come round to something that you really, really need to happen, and they will just decide they're not fucking doing it, even though you voted for it. And that's what people need to remember. And so that influenced seriously my vote for the Conservatives. No, I didn't vote for Cameron, but I did vote for Boris. I did. Because he said he'd carry out what had been voted for. Not necessarily what I wanted, but if we're going to vote, carry it out. Or what's the point of the vote? Why am I voting? Don't make my vote fucking pointless. You can't do that. It's a democracy. That is the beginning of the end. That is the thin end of the wedge. It might take 20 years before it all falls apart, but it will fall apart. Without a shadow of a doubt, it will fall apart. And so, I voted Conservative. Did I live to regret that? Oh, what do you think? Fucking hell. Sorry about that. Never mind, you can't win them all, can you? So, crashed and burned with Labour, crashed and burned with Conservative. Now I'm listening to Nigel and I'm thinking, Mr. Farage of Reform. And I'm thinking, the plan seems a good one. It does. At the moment. But I've seen it all before, I've heard it all before, and invariably it goes down the pan. And you know when it goes down the pan in the biggest way? Like it's happened this time. When they get huge, huge majority wins. And then they can do what they like. So they do. And it all fucking goes down the pan. It did with the Conservatives and it has done with Labour. Except Labour, somehow or other, have managed not only to be a lemming off a cliff, but they've managed to be a big fucking fat lemming with lead boots on and gone off the cliff at 600 miles an hour straight fucking down to the bottom and exploded and took all of us with them. Absolutely shite. No other word for it. Shite. All of them. Liars, scheming, backtracking, mind changing, taxing the fuck out of everyone they shouldn't be taxing. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And so, what will be the answer? Okay, we've got reform. Right, okay, so that's half the problem, isn't it? That's half of, problem. Well, yeah, I suppose it is a problem. It's a solution stroke problem. And that's half of it. Now we need another party. And so, when reform wins, as it stands now, when reform wins, they will stand in the parliament there, opposite each other, at those dispatch boxes, and have discussions and take the piss out of each other and all the rest of it. But they will have discussions, and hopefully we will have a lot less politicians. I'm not quite sure what the word politician means. To me, in the Oxford English Dictionary, next to the word politician in bracket, it should say useless, lying, pocket-lining twats. That's about it, really. For some of, certainly not all of, but for some of, and they shouldn't be there. So I want to see some businessmen. I want to see some people that make Great Britain great again, man. Oh, was that a bit Trumpian then? Great Britain great again. Yeah, well, fuck it. It is Great Britain, isn't it? That's our title, GB. Yeah, the United Kingdom, though sometimes not quite very united, but Great Britain. So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see business come back. I'd like to see industry come back. Because this reliability, we seem to have got rid of all of our industries. Steel's gone, manufacturing's gone, coal's gone, gas is gone, the North Sea's fucking healing up. All from choice. They're choosing to do all of this. Because where were we going? We were going to technology. Technology was going to be the answer to all our problems. Everybody's being trained in IT, and it's going to be wonderful, and everyone's going to work a 30-hour week, and everyone's going to be on megabooks, and no one's going to have to get dirty hands, no one's going to have to do fuck all. It's going to be great. It's great. Everyone's going to be sitting at a computer. And then what happened? 20 years into it all, what happened? AI. And who's the first people going to lose their jobs? It's not the brickie, it's not the plasterer, it's not the plumber, and it's not the spark. It's the person sat behind the desk at the computer. When I was a kid, my mum used to sit at the table practicing speed typing. Speed typing. Has anybody under 40 even seen a fucking typewriter? Probably not. Keyboards are becoming a thing of the past. You don't need to type in what you want out of your computer, do you? You press a button and you're fucking talking to a microphone and it does it for you. Alexa is everywhere. You don't need a capability now. You just need to be able to speak. And before long, you're not even going to need to do that. AI will make all the decisions for you. It will wipe your arse and it will carry you from A to B, metaphorically speaking. So all you people that have trained in all this computer technology for all these years, wasted your fucking time. They're all the first ones gone. So now what's left in the UK? Seeing as all that's going to be gone, because that'll be covered by AI, and all the manual jobs have already gone, unless you're building houses. But how long before we've got physical robots doing that? 30 years, 40 years? Yeah, taxi drivers are going to be gone because that's going to be automated. Truck drivers, bus drivers, train drivers. It's all going to be gone. It already has. Just look to China. Look to China. No one's driving a taxi in China. Not in the big cities anyway. There are no train drivers. There are no tram drivers. All gone. Already gone. There's nobody even selling drinks and hot dogs. Walk up to a machine, put your quid in, and it arrives in front of you. Via drone. Can you fucking believe that? That's where we're going. That is where we're going. So there's not going to be anything left for us to do. So we need, what I want to see, what I need is manufacturing coming back. We need something. We need something to land on our doorstep. And we need decent people to do it. And we can't just have reform. We need businessmen. We need two parties with slightly varying ideas, whatever, or even ideas at the opposite ends of the scale. I don't care, really, and meet in the middle. But if we haven't got that, kids, we're going to be in fucking trouble. We're going to be in big trouble. Because you can't have one side ruling the roost. One side ruling the roost doesn't work. Look at history. Just look back in history. Never works. Initially, it might be great and sweet and supersonic and everyone's dead happy and it's all wonderful and everyone's getting what they want. Not for long. You'll end up in some dog shit Orwellian society that just don't work. And if you think I'm dreaming, read 1984. I've read it about 3 or 4 times now throughout my life. Just read 1984. Because when I was a kid and we read it in school, which was a long time ago, it was like, what the fuck's this? It's like reading Star Trek. This is bollocks. I'd say about 70% of that has come through in my life now. Maybe more. 70% of 1984 is happening now. Okay, Mr. Orwell was 40 or 50 years out, wasn't he? He said it'd be happening by 1984. And it hasn't happened by 1984, but it's nearly here by 2025, people. We need people in charge with direction. We need people with skills. We don't need politicians. Politicians are shite. I'm sure politicians, an acronym for something that means complete twat. I can't think what it is. I'll have to go away, write it down, figure it out. Anyway, it's enough insults for one day. I shall jog on. I am off ski. So I will do your head in at a later date. Apologies if you're now depressed or even fell over, gone to sleep. It's a distinct possibility. Later, people. Create. Stay sane.